Thank you for everybody for getting together today. I'd like to talk a little bit about the Michigan FairTax proposal, and I'd like to focus on employment in Michigan. Here in the state of Michigan, we're having one of the highest unemployment rates across the entire country. It is an important factor for us to focus on employment. You can get a lot of benefits, side benefits from simply having employment, and that is additional revenues to the state government that allows you to be able to pay for programs that you want to have so you don't have deficit spending, and you can start new programs, do what you want to do with that funding. But the fact is that you can grow the economy to create additional revenue to the government without having to raise taxes. We have always gotten out of any kind of a deficit situation, or we've gotten closer to getting out of a deficit situation by increasing the size of the economy, therefore generating more natural revenues to the government. Now, how can you do that? You have to be able to attract businesses. Businesses is the employment, and you have to attract those businesses to your local area. Now, how would you do that? Well, first of all, you would want to make it an attractive place for employees to want to live, and you would have to make it a lower cost place of doing business so that the person investing their capital in a business has a better alternative, a better return on their investment to be able to open business in your state versus going to another area, whether it's another country or simply another state that we compete with. Remember, we have 49 of the states that we have to compete with in terms of employment opportunities. Here in the state of Michigan, we need to be able to remove some of the impediments to making a business profitable, which includes the personal property tax that businesses pay. Most of the surrounding states, all the surrounding states to Michigan, have now removed, in the last year to 2 years, have removed their personal property tax that they charge in businesses on the assets that they use. It's the plants and equipment that they use in the process of the business. So in order for us to be competitive, we need to do that same. In addition to that personal property tax, a business would be interested in coming to the state of Michigan and opening up shop here or expanding their current employment here in Michigan if they knew that their individual employees no longer had to pay income taxes to the state of Michigan, which means that the money that you are paying them in their wages, they get to keep instead of having to forward that money, those funds, on to the government, which reduces their spendable income. Their well-being and their standard of living is directly affected by how much they have for spendable income. If you remove that cost on the business to open up shop or expand here in the state of Michigan, that allows them to be able to make products here in the state of Michigan and be able to ship those products to other places. We're not talking about purely consumption here in our own state, but to be able to make the place to produce those things here in our state, regardless of where it is sold. As a matter of fact, we want to encourage production that goes outside of our state. And currently in our current system, through the income tax system, both personal and through the corporate tax system, we are increasing the cost of those businesses to operate here in Michigan and expecting and trying to get somebody from outside of our state to pay for those tax costs. The cost of operating our services for our benefits here in Michigan, we're trying to get somebody in Illinois or California or outside of our country to pay for those costs by embedding those costs, including them into the price of the product as it's being produced, and then turn on expecting to sell that product at a higher price to recoup that tax cost in another location. Maybe you've been able to do that in the past when you had such a strong economy, or the Michigan was the only place you could possibly have produced the best automobile. Well, now we have plants all across the country in terms of automotive industry and many other industries. Michigan needs to become the preferred place to produce those products, because it's not the only place that they can produce it, but it needs to be the preferred place. And you need to do that by making the state of Michigan a lower cost location to produce those products. In addition to that, by making the taxation visible, there's nothing wrong with being able to tax people, but it is certainly more right to make those taxes that you're going to charge people and make them obvious. Visibility is so important because it allows people to judge whether or not they want to give more of their money to the government, local or federal, and have them pay for any particular program is affected by how much those programs are going to cost. And if you can see the visibility of your true tax cost by every purchase you make would have a tax on it, then you can choose and you can see what that consumption is. If the business pays the tax more indirectly, if they're paying the tax, they simply include the cost of that tax in the price that they sell to you. But you don't see that as a tax. When you buy the product, there's no portion of the sales receipt that says 20 cents out of the dollar is going to the federal government in tax, 10 cents is going to the state, or whatever the numbers would be. The fact is they simply sell you something for $1, and other than the sales tax, which is the only portion that is visible, all the remaining tax costs are hidden, and you don't see it as a tax. You just see it as an increased cost of the product. We, for many years, have just constantly said prices just go up. They just constantly go up. Well, one of the reasons they go up is because taxation has continually gone up, generally too. By not seeing that tax cost, it allows the government to continue to grow, but not allowing people to attach the relationship between that growth in government and the increase in prices of the things they buy every day. Moving to the Michigan Fair Tax allows people to see what that taxation is.